We're going to talk quickly about some of the immigration terms that you all should know, practicing in this area, working in your respective companies or law firms, and daily discussing cases and situations, projects that come up. Some of these terms are not going to be directly related to the H, L, or B visas. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the terms that are used in the green card context. And areas of immigration that may not directly apply to these specific categories that we're going to work on later today. But we just want to give a bigger picture, I think, an overview, so that when you hear these terms, you're not surprised, you're not wondering what other people are talking about. And because H, L, or B visas sometimes lead into green card or sometimes lead into other kinds of visas and situations, it's good to know these general terms. Again, like Raj said, if you have a question and you want to, ask something, that's fine. Usually I don't mind at all. So feel free. The first thing is an A number. If you've ever filled out an immigration form for U.S. immigration, there's always a place for A number. It's a number that's generally given to anybody who has started the final process of the green card, okay, in the United States. Or maybe they've been deported before, or something like that. They've been in an immigration process at a level that is usually way beyond H, L, or B visa. So mostly when you're filling out an H, L, or B visa application, you will not need to know what an A number is, and hence you could write not applicable or something in the box for that field. An alien, A number, A, right? What do you think that stands for? Alien, right? What's an alien? That's somebody that's from outer space. I'm just, that's not exactly what it is, right? It means somebody who is not from the United States. That's what we call an alien. A beneficiary is another term that is frequently used in the immigration world. That would be somebody who is seeking an immigration benefit, somebody who is being sponsored by a company or an organization, sometimes even another person. Beneficiary. Sounds like benefit. They're getting a benefit from it, right? They're going to come to the U.S. or some other place. Bona fide. This is a Latin word meaning genuine or authentic. So many times when immigration regulations are issued, they want to make sure that someone is, has a bona fide job offer or has a bona fide marriage to somebody else, to make sure that it's not just something that was for convenience. Incidentally, you were given some of the materials today. Each of you should have received or will receive in your bag, I believe, this training manual, which has been carefully put together by Raj Kumar and myself. You'll notice that the first portion of the manual is dedicated to this subject of definitions. There are more in the manual than there are here now that we're talking about, so you could use this as a handy dictionary or reference tool for when people are asking questions, or if you just need to know what a term means as you're doing an immigration project. So you could follow along, but otherwise the PowerPoint is here. A dependent in immigration terms is the spouse or child of somebody who is coming. DHS is an abbreviation for Department of Homeland Security, which is the agency in the United States which is responsible for the immigration process. Department of Labor, or DOL, is another acronym or abbreviation for Department of Labor, which oversees parts of the immigration process, mostly related to fairness for U.S. workers, fairness for foreign workers coming, making sure everyone gets paid sufficiently, making sure that nobody is being mistreated. Dual intent is a term used within H-1B and L visas. It means that the person who's coming to the U.S. may have the intent to stay permanently in the United States, and there's no conflict with that visa type. That means that some other visas, if you have the intent to stay permanently, then they will not give you the visa because you should be leaving within a certain time period. But dual intent means you can have the intent to stay for a short period. You could also have the intent to stay indefinitely as a permanent resident in the United States. EAD is a term you'll hear. It stands for Employment Authorization Document. It's a work permit. It's a card that is given in certain cases for immigration allows people to work in the United States, typically when they are advanced into the green card process. At the final stage of the green card process, they get an EAD card, and it's like a driver's license. Their face is on there, and it has a code on the back, so it could be scanned and things like that. Another EAD card is given for students when they're at the final end of U.S. Degree programs. They can be given an optional practical training card, which is an EAD card, and that lets them work for usually a year after their program. And we'll talk about that a little bit later too. Employer verification is a process in the United States where each individual who begins working at a U.S. company must show proof that they have authorization to work in the United States. Typically it's done by filling out Form I-9. I-9 is the form where it says, are you a U.S. citizen? Let's see some proof. Here's your passport. Here's your birth certificate. Are you a foreign national? Where's your visa? Are you a permanent resident? Where's your green card? Where's your documentation? And so that's something, again, we'll cover a little more later. But that comes under the category of employer verification. They're trying to verify the work status, the immigration status of the individual coming to work. Sorry. If you can't hear me or something is wrong or it gets hot in here, just let us know, because I'm getting hot already. I'm going to take off my coat. I hope you don't mind. It's all that curry, I like the curry, by the way. Fiscal year is something that comes up within the immigration context because there are quotas for the number of visas given during a federal fiscal year. Federal is another term, I think you use central here. So within the central government of the United States, from October 1st to September 30th, there are visas available. And those visas are depleted quite quickly in some cases. We'll talk a little bit about that later. But again, the focus of this particular training is how to prepare the visas more, and not so much the other questions about how to strategize and obtain the visas maybe in some cases. So, green card. That's a term you've probably heard over and over again. That is a document. Who can tell me what is that document? What does it do for you, if you have it? What's that? Yeah, permanent status, permanent residence, okay, so to combine those two answers. It is evidence of permanent residence in the United States. It means that you have done whatever steps are necessary to prove to the government that you're a good person, that you deserve the privilege of staying permanently in the United States. Is it actually green? No, it's not actually green. But once upon a time, in ancient history, it was green. Back when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. So that's where they got that green card. Inadmissibility is a term used to indicate people who may not be allowed to enter the United States. A person is inadmissible for many reasons. It could be they've committed a crime, or they have a health problem, or they've been involved with some other illegal activity, or questionable behavior, terrorism or something. They may have the wrong name. Who knows? There's a lot of reasons that it may come up that they are deemed inadmissible by the U.S. Embassy when they go to apply for a visa. Or even when they appear at the port of entry, when they go to enter the U.S. at the airport, they may be deemed inadmissible. If they are deemed inadmissible, the individual must file a waiver, which is a word that means what? Is this waiver? Does this mean to waive at somebody? What does it mean?
Exemption.
What?
To get an exemption.
To get an exemption, right, that's a good answer. So it means asking the government a pardon or exemption from the requirement that they be inadmissible because of some event that happened. And if you file for a waiver, you're asking, hey, look, this is a good person, it's been a long time since something bad happened, or maybe this was a misunderstanding, please forgive that person, let them come, let them be admissible.